Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Raven Redfeather, and this is the energy reading for the month of May 2026. I pulled the cards, and we'll look at them together and see, what we can expect and how best perhaps we can navigate these energies, so we can flow through this time with the greatest of ease. So, we're coming in the month with the Three of Wands. And this is where we've made choices and decisions, whether that's career choices, relationship choices, behavioral choices, life changes, life choices. We've made those choices, and now we've put out our energy in the world, and we're really waiting for things to come to fruition. And here we see this person, and they have their feet barefoot on the ground. And I feel like this is symbolic, not only for us to be grounded, but it's an indicator that overall we have put out there grounded decisions, grounded choices, choices that are based on a strong foundation. And those choices that are made from a strong foundation will certainly, be successful. They will certainly come into fruition. And so we're being guided to trust in that. This person, yes, is looking out. The ships are coming in, but they're not really nervous about the situation. They're barefoot. They're comfortable. They're just waiting for that harvest time. And this card came out with the broken arrow. And this is a card where we can let down our guard, we can put down our weapons, we can trust that we are safe, and peace is coming in for us and the world. And I feel that coupled with this card, what it is indicating, there have been wars and fighting and violence around the world. And this is just telling us to trust that we are entering that time of peace, where people will put down their weapons, and we will have peace. Now, this is peace coming into our personal life, but this is also, peace globally. So to trust in that and to practice that. So to practice that in, in our relationships, letting go of old grudges, letting go of a sense of righteousness and being judgmental, and instead having an open heart, trusting, and really envisioning that peaceful, harmonious situation, and trusting in that, because it's coming in. It is coming in. We have with that as well the Harvest card in the Lenormand deck. And so this card, just as it's depicted here, is a beautiful picnic with all the harvest, there, the abundance of food, beverages, well-being, everything provided for. So it's really encouraging us to trust in peace and harmony, to look for areas in our life too, because the outside world is going to reflect what's going on inside, and vice versa. And I know I've mentioned this before, but it is very true. So look at where have you maybe held a grudge against a family member, or against a coworker, or a former partner. Let's let all that go. It doesn't serve us. It won't serve anybody or anything. And where can we just, break that arrow, and lay down sort of the weapons of our, being judgmental, or criticism. Critiquing something when asked, different, but criticism, um, resentment, also letting go of regret. Because when we have regret within us, regretting that perhaps an action we took or an action we didn't take that we wish we had taken, perhaps regretting where we have withheld love, and then we might blame ourselves or feel guilty, and that can be very very unhealthy, and also a way of self torment. So this broken arrow is really helping us, and bringing that wisdom to lay down as well the weapons we've used against ourselves, the toxic thoughts, the negative thoughts, the not good enough, not worthy enough, um, the shame, the guilt, the regrets, just any negative thought patterns regarding ourselves. They're unhealthy and not serving us. And if we are caught in that pattern of self-deprecation or self-sabotage, then we can't really share our all with the world. And we are each beautiful divine beings, and we each have our own little puzzle piece in this cornucopia, of this world that we're in, and we have our each our own flavor to share with the world, to bring about that positive, peaceful, harmonious world that we want. So to let go of the our own judgment of ourselves, the criticism, and to let go as well of the fears that can cause the need to put up resistance, resistance to things perhaps we don't want to look at, we don't want to be aware of, resistance to additional unique perspectives. So letting go of sort of having that battle shield, between us and others, and really open up our hearts, not only to loving ourselves more, but to being open to come to a place of understanding with others, of agreeing to disagree, and then bringing about harmony. We're going to put down that arrow. We're going to put down the battle. So that's how we're kind of coming into this month. But, with this card, with the Three of Wands, we are being guided to trust that, as well as with the Broken Arrow card, to trust, and the Harvest card, to trust that there is peace and abundance ahead of us. We're like almost there. So, and that's coming in. I would say that it's possible this month. So, there certainly will be, based on what I'm seeing here, regarding the energies, there will be a level of peace and harmony for sure around the world. But again, everything has to start with the self as well. So how can we create better peace and harmony within ourselves, as well as peace and harmony outside of ourselves as well? So, and that actually is a buffalo medicine. So definitely that energy is coming in, and seems timely, because so when I call on the guardians of the north, one of the guardians of the north, for me, in the traditions that I work with, is buffalo medicine, and buffalo represents beautiful abundance. Buffaloes, were like a gift from God for the peoples of many lands, providing food, providing tools, clothing, bedding, warmth. So they brought in abundance, And in a sense, in that way, they selflessly gifted themselves to humanity, to assist humanity to survive harsh weather, harsh environments. Um, but also, buffalo comes in to bring peace and harmony. So we're that is also one of the medicines. So that we have to create peace and harmony within ourselves, that we can then create peace and harmony outside of ourselves as well. So that's first thing what's coming in for this month. It's yeah, pretty powerful, good medicine. And then we have the Queen of Wands in the tarot coming in. And so this is, we've been in Aries season and we're moving into Taurus, but the the wands, are fire sign. So this is a representing the energy of the creatress. So being doesn't matter male or female, but being in that energy of creativity, of but also too, the Queen of Wands is the great hostess. So so creating events, creating experiences, maybe family gatherings, for others, for friends, for family, creating things for the community. So this energy is coming in of creativity and passion. So inviting each of us to look at where our passion lies. And sometimes I've had people say to me, well, I don't know what my passion is. Everybody knows what their passion is. The only thing that's preventing that is the self-doubt, that I have this passion to do this particular thing or to share this particular thing, but I'm afraid of how it'll be received, or I don't feel I'm going to be good enough, or I'll be judged. So she's coming in, and she is, of all the queens in the tarot, she's definitely not afraid. She's sitting, very relaxed, you might say, in her pose, being just she's her, and if you don't resonate with her, she doesn't mind. Just, you go your way, she'll go her way. And but she's very confident, like the sunflowers in this picture. They follow the sun, they follow the direction of the sun, and she gravitates towards the sun, in the sense of not only being visible and being seen and recognized, but also in gravitating towards joy. She follows her joy, she follows her passion. So that energy, and again, we had the feminine energy last month as well. This sort of, we're needing a balance. So this isn't getting rid of 6,000 years of patriarchy to have 6,000 years of matriarchy. It's time to have the balance of the two. But in order to have that, we have to bring in a rebalancing. So a lot of feminine energy is coming in. And again, that ties in very clearly with the broken arrow, because the broken arrow would represent being what I would call Atarango medicine, or jaguar medicine, being the luminous warrior who has no need for enemies in this life or the next. So we're letting go of the battle. That doesn't mean we're giving up on things that are important, but we're realizing there's a different way. There's a different way to go about things, where we can be less on the defensive and more just trusting and allowing and sharing our opinions, but in ways that are less confrontational and more cooperative. Now, above the in my layout here of the cards, above the Queen of Wands is a card, an oracle card, which is lightning. And in this card, I actually don't work with this deck often, but I was drawn to use it today. And I'm really drawn here that the lightning is coming from the solar plexus. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a faint outline of a person in this card. I'll hold it close and maybe you can see that. And I feel like the lightning is symbolic of inspiration, but sudden, usually. Sudden inspiration or sudden awakening. Yes, it's symbolic of, sometimes shocking change, but really more inspiration, awakening, awareness that comes in suddenly. And here it's really shown mostly coming from the solar plexus. And this is, our center for self-expression. Um, this is the core of our being. So I feel like this lightning bolt of energy, so to speak, is coming in to awaken us to our authenticity. And the Queen of Wands is, again, as with all the queens in the tarot decks, she's very, very authentic in her positive aspects, authentically herself. And we're being guided to be in that authenticity and to be open for unique perspectives, changes of opinion, and lightning bolt speed of information coming in. So there could be, some lightning bolt speed of information for sure coming in. And I feel that it's going to be coming in, through lots of communication, because we have, you can't see my cards, unfortunately. Technically, I don't know how to show you that yet, and equipment-wise. But we have 3 owl cards that came up, and one was from an animal tarot deck, an animal deck, oracle deck, but the others were not animal oracle decks, but owls came up. So, and I work a lot with owl medicine. I love owls. Now, as with everything, they can have the negative aspects, and can sometimes anything can be used for negative purposes, but also there are the positive aspects, and the positive benefic uses of things or symbology of something. And owl medicine, for me, is a medicine that assists me in realizing perhaps where I've been deceiving myself. Now, perhaps I might have had rose-colored glasses on, didn't want to see the red flags of a particular situation or with a particular person. So owl medicine would come in for that, to show me where my blind spots are, or my own personal. Is there something within myself that I really would benefit from looking at? So, and this, is for everybody. Certainly I use this for my clients. It helps me to discern what's really going on for them. So, owl medicine helps us to remove the blinders. And again, and to realize, is this my own projection? Am I projecting my own wounds onto these situations outside there that I might see on the news, or that I might hear somebody say, gossip, or, what is my projections, or what are the projections of others? Because sometimes, and certainly as we're, as people grow up, from early childhood on, they might have a relative project their own stuff on them, which is a false limiting belief on, or a false judgment onto that child growing up. Or it might be a teacher, or a culture, or a situation, or an organization that's projecting onto someone. So owl medicine helps us to realize if we are projecting our own wounds, Or if somebody else is projecting their own wounds, we don't have to take it on, because owl is helping us to discern that it's not ours. So we can just release it back to them with love and blessings for their healing, but we don't have to take it on. So that is a factor here. I think the lightning bolt is coming in, the card lightning, to bring our awareness to that. To where have we allowed others to project their own judgments on us, and where perhaps have we been triggered and allowed our own wounds to be projected onto others. I do feel too, lightning is coming in here to reveal deceptions, because again, the owls do help with deceptions, with with perceiving them. On a negative use of them, they could be used for deception, but in the positive, they help with us discerning where are we being deceived, where have we been deceived. Owl medicine also shows us what we need to let go of. It shows us the shadow. Owls see very clearly in the night, in the shadow. And so we've had generations of shadow, of things hidden, of things in the shadow, for various reasons hidden from humanity. And so I feel a lightning bolt is coming in this, and I don't know if there's going to be a feminine energy that's going to perhaps bring some of this awareness forward for people. But with this owl card, this is a card in the Lenormand where it can sometimes refer to gossip or communication. So social media, news. So I feel like there will be a lot of communication this month of May regarding deceptions, things that have been hidden, now brought to the surface, and brought into our awareness. So the light is coming back. The light of the sun, the light of wisdom, the light of grace, the light of the divine is coming back. And so because that light is coming in, it is revealing to us where where things have been hidden, where the shadow has been. But part of being able to see what has been hidden is that we have to be able to acknowledge, to be a seer, and by that I mean to be able to perceive the truth of what's really going on around us, or the truth of what we are experiencing and feeling and sensing. We have to clear away our own filters, that our own clouded judgments based on old programming, and so that we can easily discern, the shadow outside of ourselves. If we have not ever looked at our own wounds or our own triggers and our trigger responses, then it doesn't mean we have to be completely healed, because we probably wouldn't be here if we were completely healed. So it's an ongoing process for everybody. But we have to be willing to look at our own stuff. And if we are willing and we do our own processing, and not over processing, that's not good either. But if we have the openness to lovingly look at our own triggers and bring our own healing to those, then we are going to be able to perceive what the real deception is out there. We'll be able to better discern what is reality and what is illusion, what are our own projections, what are the projections of others. And that's what the owl is coming in for. And now, interestingly enough, I should say, when I was holding this up to the camera here on the phone, which from the distance, this looked like a sun to me. Obviously, it's not, but maybe with my eyesight, it looked like the sun and the crescent moon here. So I feel like it's also representing the light coming into the dark. And now owls will really help us to bring light into the dark because they already can see in the dark. They already can sense in the dark. They already can hear in the dark. Their senses are keen. And so so doing that, they bring us into greater awareness of what is actually going on. So hence bringing the light into those darkest of places. And then that's when we can make clear choices that are healthy and that bring swift and positive change. Next, we have the star card from the tarot. The star card is considered a major arcana card. And so the star card, traditionally, this person is naked. YouTube doesn't like nudity, so I had to cover her up. but there's a purpose to that. Her being naked, it means that she's put down the arrow, the broken arrow. She is able to, instead of being on the defensive, she's able to be open and to trust, to be vulnerable. She is strong enough. It takes strength, takes inner strength to allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to allow ourselves to say we're sorry. You know, that's to be vulnerable. Oh, I wish I hadn't done that or said that. You know, I apologize. And that takes great inner strength to admit perhaps if we've made a mistake. You know, it's all part of learning. It's all part of growing. And to be vulnerable. And vulnerable too, to be ourselves. Vulnerable to be our authentic selves. Not who somebody else wants us to be. Not what a culture or society has told us to be. But to be in touch with our divinity, our own self. You know, I do feel that it is the goal here is to bring heaven to earth, to bring our higher self, our divine self, to integrate it into our wholeness. And the star card comes to bring healing. She pours the waters, the healing balm of energy on us all. Just a beautiful healing shower of energy, cleansing away pain and suffering, hurt, regrets, resentment, shame, guilt. Just soothing balm, bringing healing, this divine light. And really helping us to cleanse. So these are cleansing waters. I feel that cleansing is going to be important in the month of May. We have with it, especially because we have with it in the Lenormand, this is the card with the broom. And this broom, of course, based on the reading, you know, based on whichever reading it is for, it could be either for sort of punishment, which, you know, but in this reading it doesn't mean that. Or it can be used for sweeping away, you know, what doesn't serve, sweeping away the dirt, sweeping away the old patterns, the old addictive behaviors, sweeping away and cleansing our diet, cleansing our self. We must cleanse our environment and our own bodies so that, and the wheel's here to remind us in order to move forward. So this month is a month of finishing up the cleansing so we can move forward. We don't want to move forward with the old baggage. We can't actually progress in a positive way if we are moving forward with, you know, all the, you know, old toxic patterns of behavior. This is bringing cleansing to addictive behavior. And I think that, you know, certainly there has been brought to our awareness that there are new medicines which are now able to be used for those with addictive behavior or with trauma to bring healing. And certainly we will want to use this symbolically to seek assistance from our friends or family or counselors or, a medical person, or holistic practitioner, um, to bring about that healing, that self cleansing. So focusing in, and I do feel it will, the energies of the earth, the Schumann resonance, the solar energies that are coming in, are also assisting us to cleanse. So this month of May, we may continue, and I think we have in the month of April, to have had some cleansing symptoms as we are preparing to move into this golden age. Really renewed, cleansing away the toxins. So some people have had perhaps some health things come up, and some have been minor, maybe skin rashes or maybe a little unsettled digestion, sleep disturbances, or feeling really tired or feeling wired, but tired. But again, this is part of us cleansing away. These energies that are coming in to assist us in this, so that we can go into this new age, this golden age, uh, refreshed, and with healthier habits. It doesn't mean we're going to be perfect. Doesn't mean we're not going to, I don't know, eat that chocolate or whatever, have a glass of wine, but we'll have healthy habits. They will be balanced and more harmonious. And we're being guided. What do we need to sweep away? And this could be simply cleaning, spring cleaning an environment, a house, an office, but also internally, our diet, eating perhaps this month a healthier, more balanced diet might be good to assist us navigating the energies, as well as sweeping away the toxic thoughts. We're the self-limiting beliefs, the old programming. It's just not going to serve us moving forward. So we're being guided to let that go. And then we have the big horned sheep here coming in. And the bighorn sheep, they are so able to navigate even the narrowest of little path as they climb higher and higher to higher elevations. And so this card is called Ram and Perseverance. So it's really encouraging us to seek those higher heights, raise the bar for ourselves. Again, this came through prior months. Don't think small. We're being encouraged to think large, to think big. We really are capable of so much. And we have so many gifts, each and every one of us, that we're going to be unpacking, right? We're going to be unpacking our gifts that perhaps have been hidden. And the owls are coming in to assist us in discerning our gifts, to removing the filters, those filters of fear and toxic thoughts and old programming, so that we can see our gifts, we can recognize and honor ourselves, honor our gifts, and seek those higher planes, those higher perspectives, higher goals. Let's not limit ourselves, because as we expand, we have, I'm not an astrologer, but there are a lot of all the major planets except for Pluto will go retrograde, but really they're all direct, and these energies do affect us. Energies affect each other, so even the planetary and the astral, those do affect our energies, and vice versa. So that we have all this expansive energy coming in now, that's been coming in, and so it's really we're being encouraged. How can I think more expansively of myself? And how can I think more expansively of what I envision this reality to be, what I want for the world, what I want for my community, what I want for my family? And so, this particular card, it says, You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will follow. So we're being guided to, again, to honor our gifts, to admit we have gifts, um, and to reach higher, and to be patient with ourselves, be patient with world situations, because, and to think big picture, because we're really expanding, we are really creating the the foundation for the golden age. And we have to be patient with ourselves, be patient with others. Everybody is going through their own process, their own journey here, um, and dealing with their own things as they're sweeping away the false limiting beliefs. So it's important to, again, practice kindness and self kindness, kindness with others, and to realize we really are resilient, as I said last month, and to persevere. That we are really strong and we can persevere through these. Through this time, because there's such grandness coming in. There's such beauty coming in, um, and oneness, and there is this frequency which I think we can all feel, despite a lot of the chaos that's been going on. We can sense this love coming in, this sense of community coming in again. And I'm drawn here. So these horns, the great bighorn sheep, they are like antenna. So keep your antenna up. Really honor those insights, perspectives. That I hate to use the word, new age word, download, but really realize that we are all connected. There is no space. There's really no space between us. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to articulate this correctly, but on Facebook today, a little commercial came up for a device for when you're packing your suitcase, to put your clothes in a bag and use the suction thing, and then your sweaters, which were this high, are now just maybe the thickness of my pinky here. And so symbolically, they say there's just space in between here. This seems solid, but it's just space. So we can see how, a whole stack of towels or sweaters can be like compact into nothing, because it's really just space in between. So realizing that there is no space or separation between us and our higher guides. There is no space or separation between us and our, if you believe in it, our galactic family. There is no space between us and our God, our creator source, or the ascended masters, whatever your belief system is. There is no space between me and you. There is no space between me and the plant here in front of me, or the trees outside. We are all connected. And so just trusting in that connectedness. And we don't have to go anywhere to reach that. We just have to allow that wisdom, information, connectedness to come in. Now, I don't mean connection with malevolent beings, but connection with our higher self, connection with our God source, connection with our community and our loved ones, our family and friends. And again, to know that we are persevering, but not in the sense that we're going to have to suffer, but that we are resilient, we are strong, and we are continuing to elevate ourselves as a humanity. We are continuing to reach higher. we are continuing to awaken to more of our authentic self. And, as we have here with the lightning card, there is going to be this month, I feel, coming in for us, the energies that are going to awaken us to more of our authentic selves. There will be some more enlightenment coming in for us. We have also in the crystal oracle cards, fluorite. And so this is a card of being yourself as God made you naturally, attractive and lovable inside and out. And so, again, this goes with that star card. So traditionally, she's naked to represent symbolically her ability to be her authentic self. She doesn't have to hide herself beyond with a mask, with a persona. So I do feel like masks will be coming off this month of perhaps people we see out there, but as well as for ourselves to remove the masks. How can we be more of our authentic self? How can we be true to ourselves? And to know that we have these many gifts, and to look for those gifts within ourselves, because sometimes when we have been under the misperception, the old programming of, oh, I don't have any gifts, oh, they have more gifts than me, what do I have to offer? Those are lies, always lies. So simply delete them and start finding appreciation for yourself, for what you're doing, for what you have. And that is, I used to feel like, what do I have to offer as a healer, as a healing practitioner, doing shamanic work or Reiki healing work, or, that type of work, counseling work. And I really felt like my gift was to hold a loving space and to see the best in my client, and just that love vibration. And so although it didn't seem like a flashy gift, like in my mind at the time, I was thinking, oh, my gift is, some people are like, oh, I psychically see the future and your guides, and I know what they look like, and I can describe them to you. And that's all wonderful too, very wonderful. But back then, way back, I thought just simply, my gift of holding a loving space, sacred space, for transformation for my clients. I thought that's kind of so simple, I perhaps at that time thought it was less than. Now I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. So again, we have these perceptions, these false limiting beliefs. It's time to let go of those, and again to recognize, the person who is just so kind to everybody. What a greater gift for the world than to just be so kind and genuine. And by that, I don't mean people pleasing in order to be loved, but to be just genuinely kind. People have so many gifts. Some people laugh and they make people laugh and they bring out that laughter in them. What an amazing gift that is. So there are many gifts. And of course, we can have gifts of being an amazing singer, or an amazing mathematician, or amazing physicist, or amazing scientist, amazing artist, writer, actor, whatever it is, amazing cook, an amazing builder, carpenter, plumber. We all have wonderful gifts to share, and it's going to be important for us to honor our own gifts and honor the gifts of others as well. Show that appreciation for their gifts. Next, we have coming in the tarot, the Ace of Swords. And this is a new beginning. This is a new beginning in clarity, a new beginning in, again, because it comes right after this broom of sweeping out the old, sweeping out the cobwebs, sweeping out that old programming, so that we can get that wheel back on the wagon and get going. And so this ace is further confirmation that this ace can come in now. It can't come in. So again, if our cup is full, hence our body, if it's our mental mind, emotional body, physical body, spiritual body, if our body is cluttered with the old programming, the false limiting beliefs, self-hatred, self-deprecation, all of that, then how can we allow our antennas aren't going to be able to, bring in that information? So this is showing us, it is a prompt to do that spring cleaning or self-cleaning for ourselves, but also it's showing us that we are going to successfully clean out enough of what, of course, not everything. It would be great, and maybe we will, but it's okay to just start each step of clearing away some of the old programming, taking that step to eat a healthier diet, taking that step to perhaps find a form of exercise or movement or dance that's healthy for us, or voice or singing or writing or journaling, any step that is then going to create an opening to allow the divine wisdom to come in, because this is divine wisdom. In the tarot, it's shown as a cloud coming out of, the air, a hand coming out of the clouds, excuse me. So a hand coming out of the clouds, and that is symbolic of divine inspiration, otherworldly information and inspiration coming in. So otherworldly information and inspiration coming in, and divine. This is of divine wisdom. We have the crown here. We have olive leaf and another branch here, and this is life. This is life-giving. This is wisdom. These little sort of drops here there's 6 of them. They're balanced, harmonious, the masculine, the feminine, their energy. They are little gems of inspiration, of wisdom. And the number 6 refers to, often in the tarot, not in all traditions, but in the tarot, it refers to the heart chakra. And we were just talking about love. So loving ourselves, finding ways to love others, finding ways to be unconditionally loving for ourselves, that we can be unconditionally loving of others as well. But this divine inspiration is coming in this month of May. Between the lightning bolt is inspiration and information coming in that helps us to be our authentic selves, and it also enlightens what was deceptive so that we can discern and choose wisely. So we have that enlightenment coming in this month of May 2026. Above it is another owl card. And this owl, again, reminding us that we can be discerning and we can be confident and trusting that we are capable of navigating through these times, in navigating through the deceptions that have been there, and discerning what has been real and what has been illusion. We will have that clarity. With the 3 cards with owls here, we are certainly being encouraged not only to be discerning, but to trust that discernment is coming in. We are going to be able to clearly, in this month of May, see into the shadow and to discern, to hear what's not said, to discern what's been hidden. We will have that. Again, I'm going to just say we will be able to hear what's not said and to discern what has been hidden. And we'll trust that. And we have in the Lenormand the dog card. And this is friendship, loyalty. This is dependability. So I feel like we will have a greater sense of security and loyalty. You know, when especially early uh, early tribal people, indigenous people, or you know, pioneers, explorers, you know, people who had dogs for pets, they were dependable, they were reliable, they were loyal. They could trust on them to give them, you know, warning, you know, somebody's coming to visit or somebody's coming by, you know, or to let them know of a particular, you know, wild animal might be near. So, not to be in fear, but to know that we can trust. There is that loyalty and trust coming back. I think we will, and perhaps we have felt that we can't trust things, and I think with good cause. There has been a lot of deception over thousands of years, but and people have been programmed to deceive themselves. But I feel that in this month of May, we're coming into a time in which we can now trust again. We can be vulnerable. We can share our hearts with others. We can open up our hearts again. Let go of that fear, because we have friendship. There are friends. There are loyal people around us, dependable people around us. I feel like this is also people that will be coming in to assist at this time, in some way, some capacity, to that we can trust, to trust in that loyalty, to trust in the security and the companionship, you know, to reach out to others, to offer your companionship. You know, sometimes we get busy in our schedules. Our lives have been quite busy, for most of humanity. So perhaps maybe we've neglected reaching out to that friend or that person or that neighbor. And so that this energy of the dog and loyalty and dependability and companionship is encouraging us to be there for others, to be dependable, to be that loyal companion. How can we show up for others? How can we hold ourselves to being loyal and dependable? How can we be careful when we promise things to not overpromise, but to be realistic, and to watch how perhaps we might say things to please others and commit to things that we're not able to commit to. So, really, just coming back to our authentic self and to setting the boundaries of knowing when to say no and when to say yes. But when we say yes, we're there. We're there. We're that true friend. We're there through thick and thin. We are there through it all. We're going to help each other. And humanity, we are communal beings. The way we survive and thrive is not by being, uh, you know, totally independent and secluded and isolated. No, we survive by being in community. So the dog energy here is coming in to also remind us to find ways we can be in community with others, find ways we can create environments or situations where we are more communal. And by that, I don't mean exclusionary. I don't mean where we have this clique and that clique, and we're in this community, you're not coming in because, you know. But how can we just nurture one another? How can we show up for one another? How can we, yeah, answer that text that we were avoiding? You know, just reach out to others. How can we share our love with others? And not to the detriment of our own time and energy, but really just having a better awareness of um, the warmth and comfort that actually that connection with others will bring us by, again, making it a priority to connect. How can we connect with, whether that's our beloved partners, our children? How better can we connect with them? How better can we connect with our extended family members? How better can we connect with our neighbors, our community, and finding ways to do so, and healthy ways, of course. We don't want to necessarily, I don't mean connecting back into something that was very toxic. That we shouldn't do. That's part of the sweeping. We may have to sweep away some relationships that were toxic and didn't serve us. But with the dog coming in here, we'll find other communities, other groups that are more in alignment. And how can we attract groups or gatherings or people or friends or relationships that are more in alignment if we're not in balance ourselves, if we are in chaos and and being self-deprecating, thinking negatively of ourselves. And so, not to worry, just simply take any step to be more positive about yourself, more compassionate to yourself, and more affirming of yourself. And that is enough to then change the magnetic, change the magnetic so you attract positive, more healthy relationships. And that's going to come in. That's going to come in for us this month. In the tarot, we have here the Eight of Cups. And this is a card which can mean the ending of something and the quest for something better, something more in alignment. So this person is walking away with a staff, and that staff, that stick or wand, is their will and their passion. So we're walking away from, yes, we have all these wonderful things and maybe not so wonderful things that are in these cups that we have created in our life up until now. But there's been something really perhaps missing. And that is probably that spark that we were avoiding, that inner passion that perhaps we weren't acknowledging, that now we're going to, with our powers, has that red cloak on, going to go with our will forward, and we're going to pursue our passion. Again, we've removed the self-limiting beliefs. I really want to do this. I don't know if I can. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the next step. That's all we have to do, is take the next step. Take the next step on our personal journey to empowerment, our personal journey to expanding into more of our authentic self. This is how we each create that golden age, because that golden age is just each of us being more and more in our divinity, more and more in the vibration of love, loving ourselves, loving others, loving the trees, loving the birds, loving the waters, loving the ocean, loving the earth, loving the animal kingdom. How can we do that? Well, we have the eclipse here, sun and moon. This is a reset. And although we don't have an eclipse immediately coming up, this is a reset time. So that's coming in. Beneath it, we have the 5, which is, this is a card with the tree in the Lenormand, and this is a card of healing. This is a card of perseverance, which we had with the bighorn sheep card. This is where, despite, we've, as humanity, we have had a lot of strife that we've had to deal with, that we've had to navigate through, that we've had to persevere through. And this tree, specifically this particular one, as you see, there's holly there. So in the dead of winter, when everything looks bare, when perhaps food stores are less, food storage, back in the day, they they had this hope of this holly, this evergreen, the rich, shiny green, life filled green leaves of that holly, and the red, vibrant berries, that color, the rich green and rich red, reminding us that there is renewal coming. Renewal is happening. Renewal is happening now. And that's where the renewal is happening, because we're turning away from what hasn't served. This person is walking away from what hasn't served, but knows, yeah, there's kind of an unknown territory out there, but this person knows it's okay. I'm going to reach that place, that goal. There is something way better for me, and I'm so excited for it, and it's gonna happen. It is happening, but I have to take those steps into the unknown, trusting spring is coming. These berries of the holly tree, those rich green leaves of the holly plant, they are reminding us that even in those barren moments, there is life. There is life coming. There is spring. There is a new spring, new growth coming. And this month of May, that's the energies are reminding us of that. And we have that also here in this other oracle card. And this particular oracle card has the owl here with wisdom. And in this particular deck, a rabbit who is a magician, very kind magician, very loving magician. He's taking his apprentice to learn something, and about what wisdom is. And he takes the apprentice out into the woods, and he shows him an owl, and the apprentice thinks, oh, I'm so smart. Wisdom is the owl, because they are very wise. They can see in the dark and all of those things. And the magical hare named Matluck, he says, no. So this owl, for example, the shares the wisdom with the apprentice and says, in the wintertime, I don't necessarily like the cold and the barrenness and the harsh weather, but I don't get sort of all irritated and grumpy and miserable, thinking, how do I endure this winter or this particular time of what seems like lack. Instead, the wisdom is, I trust and I know that there are natural cycles and rhythms of life. And I trust in the natural rhythms of life. And hence I know spring is coming. And just knowing that the spring is coming and things will be renewed. Just as we have to trust that all this chaos and all the sadness or dark or grief that we have seen globally or within our own selves and our own lives, this is coming to a close, and the spring, and there is renewal coming for not only ourselves, but for the world, for humanity, and for, of course, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, human kingdom, and the mineral kingdom. This is a renewal time, but we're not quite there yet. So just to trust. So what does the owl do to not just endure the winter? The owl shares his wisdom of gratitude, and that did come up in last month's reading as well. The wisdom looks at the small stuff, looks at the little blessings. The blessings of, wow, it's winter in this particular instance. But look at the beauty and the vibrancy of, and the power of the adaptability of that holly plant to adapt to its environment, to persevere, to be resilient, and to shine with that beautiful, rich green, shiny leaves and red berries. And just looking at the, wow, I have this, companion here. Or look at the beauty of the sunlight hitting the icicles and in the wintertime, and how gorgeous that is, or the sparkling snow. So this owl says that the wisdom is really in the gratitude, being grateful for what we have, being grateful for our bodies, being grateful for these body temples that allow us to taste the interesting flavors of different foods, and to be able to smell these amazing aromas, whether it's spicy curry or a beautiful um, flower rose, or lilacs, in the springtime, or to hear the gentle, soothing, repetitive sound of the waves coming in on a gentle, ocean side, and or to hear the crashing of the waves or the birds singing. Being grateful for those small things. Being grateful, I have a candle lit here. I love candlelight. So just, enjoying the beauty of the warmth from that candlelight. Finding the beauty in every day, finding the beauty in everything. Even in the bleakest of places, we can find that beauty. And in finding that beauty, or in finding that gratitude in the smallest of things, it is so fulfilling. It is so rewarding, and it keeps us in that calm. It keeps us in that trust. It keeps us in that knowing that all is well and as it should be, and that goodness is coming. And goodness is happening every moment of every day, and we just have to look for it. That owl looks for ways in which to be in gratitude. That owl doesn't look out in the wintertime at the bleak snow and the bare trees. The owl looks trusting in the continual renewal of life, the continual renewal of beautiful abundance, the infinite possibilities, and enjoys the little things, enjoys the beauty, the little things in life. And being in gratitude is great wisdom. Yes, wisdom comes from experience. Wisdom comes mostly from our own personal experience. But the owl is reminding us of that. But one thing that has come to mind that I forgot to mention is that with this card, part of that wisdom and renewal is certainly wisdom that is beyond ourselves, wisdom that is from the divine. So our higher guides, our higher self, our God source, whatever you call God source, great spirit, source of all that is, God, that is the ultimate of wisdom. And so being open to that divine wisdom, to actually intend to allow the divine wisdom in, because that wisdom, which I do feel is coming in, is beyond us. Our vision. So a long time ago, I was told, be careful of what you're envisioning for this golden age or the future, because not in a fearful way, but just be aware of that in this present moment, we have limited understanding, perhaps. And so our envisioning might be limited. So I always say this and more, or this and better. So really realizing that there is a higher divine wisdom that we can be open to. And as we are choosing to bring in and manifest this golden age for ourselves, the community, the world, etc., we intend this and or better, whatever is best. So really have that expansive look, that expansive vision, trusting in the goodness of the universe. The divine universe has our back, but also being open to ask for help from our family, our friends, our community, and help from the divine and our God source, and really intending to integrate our higher self into our wholeness. And that's how, as we're loving ourselves more, honoring ourselves first, so that we have more to give to others and share with others, and as we express and share our love, our authentic being with the world. So, as we share our authentic being with the world, our authentic gifts with the world, we're loving the world. That's how we share our love, by sharing who we really are, our gifts, our experiences, the wisdom we've gained. And we share that with others, and they share their wisdom with us of what their experiences were, and being open to that, and being open to that which is even higher than us. And that is God, but our source. But God is everything and everywhere and within us. And so, knowing that we don't have to go outside of ourselves to get those answers, or to access that additional wisdom that is be otherworldly or beyond us. We simply need to just take the time to be still, to be quiet. Maybe turn off all music, turn off all, internet. Certainly, if you can go out in nature, or just sit still and just be quiet. And just know that that inner guidance is there for us always. The answers are within us. The answers are here in our heart. Our heart holds all the wisdom. So that is my reading for you for this month of May 2026. And I hope that you have a wonderful month, expanding into more and more of your authentic self, honoring yourself first, being open to receive that divine guidance, and to really, really experience greater sense of companionship and connection with others. And yeah, and peace, feeling a sense of peace and trust as we move through this month. We are going to experience a greater sense of peace and harmony, I feel. Well, I thank you so much, and you have a fantastic month. Bye for now.